Yo. What's good, fam? It's your boy Dway's on Blaze, and I'm back again today. We're about to dive into the boy Drake. Pause. Big pause on that. But we're gonna look at all the disses from Scary Hours. You know, Scary Hours was packed with them bars, them heavy bars. You know what I'm saying? So, we're gonna look into, you know, who he was dissing, the subtweets, the little, you know, just the little what you call them, like silly jabs, you know what I'm saying, that he took on this project, or on this, I think it's an EP slash deluxe, I don't know what you call it. But anyway, enough rambling, let's get into it. Let's see if we agree with these disses. Let's see if whoever made this video is actually with the shits and knows what's going on. Yeah, anyway, let's go.
Despite only releasing For All the Dogs a little over a month ago, Drake is already back with his new record Scary Hours 3, and in typical Drake fashion, he did not hold back in the diss department on this project. From the reignition of longtime rivalries to shocking subliminals, despite this new...
Guys, look, this thing is in like 360p or something, guys. We gotta turn this to at least 720. I would do 1080, but sometimes it starts breaking at 1080, so it is what it is. But
new record only having 6 songs, Drake still had a ton of shots to throw out. So if you are ready to see every artist Drake dissed on this project, let's waste no time and let's get right into it. Now, the first diss we are going to be looking at was released before the rest of the record in the form of its trailer, where Drake said this: "I know I can disappear for 6 months, a year, 2 years, even though I'm not into the super lengthy disappearances for the sake of..."
Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. I've read this. I know I can go and disappear for 6 months, a year, 2 years, even though I'm not into the super lengthy disappearances for the sake of mystery. I could already tell you off the top who he's aiming at, and I think he's aiming at Kendrick on this one, because Kendrick's the only GOAT I know who disappears for like 5 years and comes back later. That's the only person who I feel like fits that role, and who Drake kind of has a problem with for some reason. I'm not sure why, but anyway.
Mystery, which is clearly a shot to artists who have been deemed mysterious by the culture, and it goes even deeper than this. Now, calling out mysterious artists, while this could refer to a lot of different
I think
people,
it's Kendrick.
when we narrow down the suspects of who Drake would be calling out, I think it's pretty clear which artist this shot was
obvious,
aimed.
bro.
Now, after sampling Frank Ocean on FATD's intro track Virginia Beach,
I don't think he's dissing Frank Ocean, to be honest. I really don't think so. I think that was more directed towards Kendrick.
Sure, he wouldn't bite the hand of somebody responsible for one of the biggest songs off the album, and once you take Frank out of the equation, there is really only one other mysterious artist left who Drake would have a bone to pick with.
I thought he said there was many options.
Kendrick
There's
Lamar.
only 2.
Now, Drake and Kendrick Lamar quietly taunting each other in their songs is nothing new, but recently, Drake's disses towards him have seemed to take an entire new life. These days, Drake is more focused on calling out Kendrick for his smaller musical output and relatively private lifestyle compared to him and most other superstars in the rap world. For somebody who lives in the limelight and has now released 5 projects in the 2020s alone, it's no shock why Drake is coming at one of his greatest rivals like that, but is it justified? At the end of the day, Kendrick Lamar's creative approach is much different than Drake's, but maybe after this shot, he will finally clap back and truly ignite the beef that the two have been in a cold war over since Kendrick dropped Control in 2013. Now, is it likely that we ever see a full-scale Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef at this point? No, but I am still sure that this is far from the last subliminal that we will see.
I don't think K-Dot wanted with Drake, to be honest.
Now, the next artist Drake dissed had the most bars dedicated to him.
I don't think he wanted with Drake.
Entire...
I feel like if K-Dot really wanted it with Drake, he would have been said that nigga name like he did back in the day. But it doesn't count last time because he said it with a lot of people. He was calling out Big Sean, Wale, he called out a lot of people. I can't really remember. But on that Control verse. So yeah, man, I don't think Kendrick went to smoke with Drizzy right now.
Project with Kanye West. Now, on the track Red Button, Drake must have seriously had a bone to pick with Ye, as he really went all out to spit on his name. Now, Drake directly called out Ye on this song with the bars, "Every time that Yeezy called a truce, he had my head inflated,
obviously,
thinking we gonna finally piece it up and get to levitating," but spent the entire
I'm gonna say something about this right quick. I don't think Kanye and Drake will ever piece it up because just like what Drake said, every time they made peace, Kanye do something wild, Kanye do something crazy. I think it's always gonna be tit for tap, tit for tit for tap, tit for tat, jab for jab. Um, yeah, I don't see Kanye and Drake ever resolving anything. I just think that Drake has no problem with Kanye, but Kanye has clearly a problem with everyone on the globe, on the face of the earth. So nobody can get along with Kanye, really.
Track up to this point, gradually building up
I
to
love
this big
Kanye, though.
punch. It seems the entire first verse of this
That
track's
wasn't a diss,
purpose
though.
was to ice out Ye. With bars like "Leave your label devastated" and "Even when you pad the stats, period, I never hated,"
I don't
in the
think that's
context
towards
of
Ye.
the rest of the song, these lyrics are referring to the destruction of Kanye West's good music label, which has seen
Really?
people like Pusha T leave
Okay,
recently,
maybe.
and the latter bar is referring to when Tidal was exposed for
Maybe.
inflating the streaming numbers of Kanye West's The Life of Pablo.
Yo,
Now, between
everybody's
these
numbers are
jabs and
inflated,
the
even
direct
Drake's.
shot that called out
Every
Kanye and his
artist
unpredictable
numbers
nature.
on
I think the
Spotify
lines
are
that are going to
inflated.
drive Ye the most mad are the ones where Drake has proclaimed Taylor Swift as the only artist on the planet that is even worthy of his competition.
I'd say Taylor
now,
Swift and The
between
Weeknd,
Drake
to be
praising
honest.
an artist who is notorious for
The
being at
Weeknd
odds
is
with
also
Kanye
stepping on
West,
Drake's
while
neck, I won't lie.
simultaneously nudging Ye, saying that even when they end up releasing albums near each other, like in 2021 with Donda and CLB, he is not fazed by Kanye's presence one bit, and I am sure Kanye is gonna feel a way about this, and I would not be surprised if he ends up responding to this as he completes his own upcoming studio album. Now, when it comes to
Where is
harsh
Kanye,
disses
bro?
on this record, while Drake threw some jabs at Kendrick and definitely is instigating with Kanye, the artist he was clearly trying most to humiliate was Joe Budden after the
Oh,
two
nah,
had been
he
publicly feuding
he
ever
really
since
went
For
for
All
Joe
the
on
Dogs
this.
dropped. Now, Drake
Like,
and Joe Budden have had
he
their
made
differences
sure.
for years at this point, but after Joe called out Drake's inability to mature with his new
It's 'cause the
music on his
Eskimo Bros.
podcast last month,
That's
Drake
the
claps
only
back,
problem
writing some pretty nasty
Drake
things about
and
Joe
Joe Budden
on
have
Instagram.
with
So
each
on
other.
this
They're
project,
Eskimo
it
Bros,
is no
they mess with
surprise
the
that
same
Drake was on the
woman,
hunt
it's
to
light-skin
embarrass
beef,
this man
really.
even more. Now, to Joe's defense, it was rumored that Drake decided to release this project and really focus in on getting into his lyrical bag because of the comments Joe made, but even if this is the case, this only ended up hurting him even more as Drake dissed Joe on the track Stories About My Brother,
Well, at least
saying,
Joe got him to
"Imagine
rap."
us getting our validation from an ex-musician searching for recognition,"
Whew.
which once again flips the script on Budden, clowning both of
Budden
his
must just
career.
come back,
Now, whether you agree
start
with
beefing
Drake's
again,
statements
release
humiliating
52
Joe's
diss
music
tracks
and
like he did the other
podcasting
time.
ventures, you can't deny that this is a pretty good shot that he got at him, and this may end up igniting an entirely new chapter of their beef between
Yo,
the
if
two
I was
if
Joe, I'm
decides
capitalizing,
to
bro.
step
I'm going
the
back
booth
in the
and
beef.
actually respond. Now,
I'm
when
going-
it comes to
I'm going
reigniting
I'm going
beef,
right back in the
after
booth.
listening to the track Wick Man, it feels like Drake is straight up asking for Pusha T for round 2 with these lines. Now, these bars directly play on Pusha
I'll still be fair. Pusha T never lyrically outbarred Drake. He never lyrically outbarred Drake. I'm sorry. When it was Duppy and Story of Adidon, yo, Drake smoked Pusha. Let's be real. Lyrically, but it's just that what Pusha, the info Pusha had, the bombshell Pusha had was just so big that it just got Drake out the beef. It was done. Pusha won by default. It was like a DQ to Drake. Like, there's nothing he could do, bro. He should have responded, honestly. I don't know why he didn't, but yeah. Anyway, I still think lyrically, I don't think Push is outbarring Drake, but hey, maybe time will tell. We'll see.
Pusha T's lines from his lethal Drake diss The Story of Adidon, where he made controversial bars about OVO 40 and his MS, saying OVO 40
Disgusting
hunched
bars.
over like he 80.
Despicable.
Tick, 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 how much time he got, that man is sick, sick, sick. And I think
Damn,
the
at
way
least he's
Drake
still alive.
threw these lines right back in Push's face was pretty damn clever. Now, with this said, saying Pusha T is broke seems like a false claim, unless
Nah,
Drake knows
Pusha's not-
something that we
Pusha's not
don't.
broke,
But
bruh.
last time I checked, and
Ain't
you can
no
look
way.
this up yourself, Pusha T's net worth is $14 million, and
no way.
also implying
I
his
think it's
career
higher
is
than
dead
that.
by saying he's a statistic is just not true, and it's kind of dumb. Push's last album, It's
I think it's
Almost
higher
Dry,
than 14
debuted at
mil.
number
I think
1
it's
on
higher
the
than
Billboard
20 mil.
200 and was nominated for Best Rap Album at the Grammys, so clearly he's doing pretty well for himself, having some of the most successful years of his career right now.
Yeah, Push
So
ain't
while
broke.
this may
I
not
won't
have
lie
been
to
the
you. Push is
perfect
not
shot
broke.
for Drake based on the actual validity of these claims, I do think that if he was trying to stir the pot and beef with Pusha T again, this has been his best attempt at doing so far. Now, one of the most random rappers to get a little jab thrown at them on this project was 6ix9ine, who Drake mocked in the line, "Y'all the
Yeah,
type
no,
to
6ix9ine
cap
caught
a
a
charge,
stray.
head to the deposition,
What
and
did
act
6ix9ine
like
do
the
to
rapper
Drake?
named
Like,
after
what
the
did he do
sex
to deserve
position,"
this?
which
What
is
did
a
he do to
pretty
deserve
good line,
this?
I'm not gonna lie. Now, when it comes to this bar, while it's not even mildly offensive, with somebody in a career state like 6ix9ine where they have been struggling to stay relevant and trying to get any sort of grasp back on the
Yeah,
rap,
6ix9ine is just
getting
doing
called
nonsense,
out in
bro.
a Drake song is a pretty big deal for him.
6ix9ine
It
had
could
the
give him a
sauce
potential
3 years
chance to
ago.
gain some new traction and even call out Drake on a song of his own. But
Not even 3,
regardless of what
4,
Tekashi does
5
about
years
this,
ago.
I am sure Drake
Damn,
will
time
pay
goes,
no
man.
mind to it. Now, one of the more interesting but also weirder disses on this album comes on the track The Shoe Fits, where it seems that Drake has shown another little diss at Rihanna with the
Bro, you
line,
gotta
"What
stop
happened
dissing
to
Riri. I ain't
selling
gonna lie
real
to you.
estate?"
Leave that
Where
gal
all that
alone,
was
boy.
going, which may seem
Leave
like
Riri.
nothing, but
She's a
knowing
mother.
Drake,
She's
this
got
is probably
kids. She
his
would
way of
ASAP. Let it
quietly
go,
mentioning
dog.
her as what he is referring to is the time where
Let it
Rihanna
go,
started
bruh.
flipping properties like her Mediterranean-style villa in West Hollywood, which she
And also, why did he ask her? Like, why did he try and diss her? Like, yo, you were flipping properties. What happened to that? Like, Rihanna ain't a billionaire. Like, Rihanna ain't rich. Like, she ain't doing her thing either way. Come on, Trizzy. Come on, bro. That's unnecessary.
offered 2.7
Come on,
million
Drizzy.
in 2017 and flipped just a few months later, almost making $3 million off the house. Now,
But it
in
could have
all
been talking
honesty,
about
this
anyone, to be
diss is
anyway,
pretty obscure and
honest.
it's honestly very weak, and it's just further proof that Drake needs to get over Rihanna at this point. She has 2 kids with
Like, he's
A$AP
dissing her
Rocky.
for, like,
She's never gonna
not
come back
flipping
to.
houses
Now,
anymore.
also on
Like,
the shoe
bro,
fits,
she's
Drake
rich.
threw
She
out a
don't
line
need
where
to
he
do that.
says, "Meanwhile, that person out in my city effing on women," which some people think could be a little
Nah,
jab
that's
at the
Abel.
weak.
That's Abel for sure. That's definitely aimed at Abel. Who else would you be talking about Toronto about? Yo, that nigga from my city fucking on women. That's obviously Abel, bro.
Which, based on the wording of this,
You know the
while I
Weeknd
wouldn't
out here
say it's
slaying.
certain, it could definitely
Slanging.
be the case considering they are both from Toronto. Now, the final shot Drake has thrown on this album is not to a rapper or even an artist, but NBA player James Harden with these lines. And now, these bars aren't anything too serious, but in the context of the song The Shoe
everybody, the game
Fits, it
started.
seems
My
that
new
Drake
boo.
is using
Wait,
these.
let me just read this one again because I got this confused in the review. Or I confused myself with this little paragraph here. She like, shh, quiet everybody. The game started. My new boo hooping tonight, and he said he play at the Garden. He said if I ain't watching, then that nigga ain't starting. She point to the guy that she talking about, and it's James Harden. I don't know if that's a diss. I think he's more so dissing the chick, like because saying, oh, she's delusional, thinking James Harden is your guy. Meanwhile, you know James ain't moving like that out here, bro. James sniping everything. He ain't committed to shit.
Too serious, but in the context of the song The Shoe Fits, it seems that Drake is using these lines to mock James Harden's reputation of always being in the strip club, and at a time where he has been
I thought that was
since
Blackie next to
joining
him,
the
but I
LA
know that wasn't
Clippers, and
Blackie.
with this project also being executive produced by his former teammate Kevin Durant. It's clear that on some level, whether anybody will admit it or not, these lines were put in here to poke fun at Harden. So there you have it.
I don't
Every
think so.
diss on Drake's new Scary Hours
I think
edition
he's
of
more
For
so
All the Dogs,
pointing
and just
fun at the
looking
girl
the amount
that
of shots
believes
Drake was
that
able to
Harden's
pack
her
into
man.
such a small number of
I think
tracks.
that's-
It's clear that he was rapping super aggressively
Cinch.
on this project, and it will be interesting to see if MCs like Pusha T and Joe Budden actually decide to clap back at him. To stay updated with everything Drake and hip-hop related, be sure to subscribe.
Okay, guys, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so that was the bars. I feel like there was more bars on there, more shots fired, but I guess that's all this guy had. That's all he picked up on. Yeah, man. So you guys let me know what was the hardest diss in the comments. Like, what was the hardest diss Drake dropped on this project? Whose head did he cut off completely? Is there any disses that this man here missed and that you guys liked? Let me know in the comments below. Like, sub, turn on post notifications, guys. Until the next one. And for those of you who are watching this, I'm doing a forest stream on Thursday. Oh, it's actually Friday night at 12 a.m. It's Thursday night, but Friday night, 12 a.m. Friday morning, I guess. Burning Forest Boys' new album. I forgot what the album's called, but I'll be doing that. If not, guys, you'll get a review from me. You'll get a review reaction from me. But we're gonna try and do that on Kick. All right, stay tuned. And this is Friday, the what's today? 21st. Tomorrow is the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. I guess it's Friday, the 24th of December. Of November. So, yes, sir. Live stream on Kick /Dways on Blaze. Let's get it.
Pushing P and I can seem to push it gently. Yeah, battery packed in my back like an E3. Self-driven nigga, it's a Tesla Model 3P. Sheesh, ay, operate, ay, operate, I gotta operate. Ay, operate, I'm working like a doctor day. Ay, operate, I gotta orchestrate.